What happens when love turns into betrayal? What happens when trust, carefully built over months, is shattered by lies that were never supposed to surface? This is not just another reality TV breakup. This is the story of Jasmine Pineda and Matt Branis, a story that began with dreams of marriage, ended with heartbreak, and spiraled into a scandal that no one saw coming. From tearful proposals to public humiliation, from hidden affairs to a $500,000 financial scandal, this story has it all. Yes, you heard it right. When Jasmine Pineda proposed marriage to Matt Branis, Matt directly told her that he could not marry her. This led to a major argument between them. Eventually, they both made a heartbreaking decision. Jasmine Pineda and Matt Branis officially separated. Later, a hidden truth was revealed. Matt Branis had been cheating on Jasmine Pineda for the past year. He had deceived her and had secretly been in a romantic relationship with a young woman named Elizabeth for 1 year. Many people claim to have seen Matt Branis several times in different restaurants, but he was not alone. He was with his secret girlfriend Elizabeth. The story did not end there. Jasmine Pineda alleged that Matt Branis had borrowed $500,000 from her. However, he wasted all the borrowed money on online gambling. When Jasmine Pineda asked him to return the money, Matt Branis denied ever borrowing it. In the end, Jasmine Pineda turned to the court. She filed a lawsuit against Matt Branis, accusing him of embezzlement and defamation. The court sentenced Matt Branis to 1 year in prison. Today, we unravel the shocking truth, the story of Jasmine Pineda and Matt Branis. The cameras of 90 Day Fiancé had followed Jasmine Pineda for years. Fans knew her as fiery, passionate, sometimes unpredictable, but always sincere when it came to love. She wanted a future, she wanted security, and she wanted a marriage that would finally prove her battles with love were worth it. And then there was Matt Branis. He wasn't a longtime cast member. In fact, when he entered Jasmine's life, many fans thought he was different, more calm, more grounded. Where Jasmine was explosive with emotion, Matt appeared steady, logical, almost protective. To many, they seemed like opposites who balanced each other out. For months, Jasmine dreamed of making their relationship permanent. The whispers of marriage weren't just fantasy. They were real. She had told friends, she had told family, and even hinted it on social media. For Jasmine, the next step was obvious, a proposal. But here's the twist. Jasmine didn't wait for Matt to ask her. In a moment that would shock fans, she proposed to him. Imagine the scene. A quiet evening, the ring carefully chosen, Jasmine looking directly into Matt's eyes, her voice trembling but determined. "Matt," she said, "I want us to spend the rest of our lives together. Will you marry me?" The room was heavy with silence. Matt's face didn't light up. His eyes didn't widen with joy. Instead, what came out of his mouth shattered the moment instantly. "I can't marry you. Not yet. Not someday. Not even hesitation." It was rejection. Direct. Clear. Brutal. The cameras didn't catch the silence that followed, but those close to the couple described it as ice breaking into a million shards. Jasmine's heart wasn't just bruised, it was crushed. The argument that followed was explosive, words thrown like knives. Jasmine accused him of wasting her time. Matt accused her of pressuring him. The dream of marriage dissolved into a storm of anger, tears, and disbelief. Neighbors recalled the shouting that night. Friends noticed Jasmine's sudden silence on social media. Something was broken, and it was broken beyond repair. And so, with heavy hearts, the two made a decision that would shock fans. They were done. Jasmine Pineda and Matt Branis officially separated. But as painful as that moment was, what Jasmine didn't know was that the rejection wasn't just about fear of commitment. It was about secrets. Secrets Matt had been hiding for over a year. The proposal had ended in disaster. What was supposed to be a defining moment of love had turned into an explosion of heartbreak. For Jasmine Pineda, the days after Matt's rejection were filled with silence, a kind of silence that screams louder than words. She had gone on television, confessed her heart to the world, and in return, she was denied in front of everyone who mattered. Friends close to Jasmine described her as devastated, She stopped answering calls. Her once fiery personality dimmed. Even her social media presence, usually filled with bold posts and sharp captions, went quiet. Meanwhile, Matt Brannis moved differently. He wasn't grieving the way Jasmine was. He wasn't spiraling publicly. Instead, he seemed almost relieved. Those who saw him in the days following the split described him as calm, almost as if a weight had been lifted from his shoulders. But behind that calm exterior, Matt was hiding something. When word of the breakup spread, 90-Day Fiancé fans exploded online. Jasmine had always been a polarizing figure on the show. Some loved her fiery honesty, others criticized her emotional outbursts, but nearly everyone agreed that her public rejection was humiliating. Clips of the proposal circulated on fan pages. Viewers debated whether Matt was cold-hearted or simply honest. Some said Jasmine had pushed him too hard, while others insisted Matt had led her on. But what no one outside their private circle knew was that the breakup wasn't just about marriage pressure. It was about something darker, and Jasmine was about to uncover the truth. In the weeks after their split, Jasmine tried to rebuild herself. She spent time with friends, leaned on her family, and tried to convince herself that the relationship had simply run its course. But late at night, questions haunted her. Why would Matt say no so harshly? Why did he look so calm, almost detached, as if he had already moved on? The answers came sooner than she expected. The first hints of betrayal didn't come from Matt directly, they came from strangers. A fan messaged Jasmine privately, claiming to have seen Matt dining with another woman. Jasmine brushed it off at first. After all, they were broken up. Maybe Matt was just trying to move forward. But the whispers grew louder. More people came forward. They described Matt in restaurants, in bars, always with the same woman. And then came the name that would send Jasmine spiraling: Elizabeth. Elizabeth was younger, fresh-faced, and unknown to the public eye. But according to witnesses, she wasn't a new figure in Matt's life. She had been there for a long time, perhaps longer than Jasmine ever realized. When Jasmine confronted Matt, he denied everything. He brushed it off as rumors, jealous fans, online gossip. He told her she was being dramatic, paranoid. Words that cut her deeper than rejection ever could. But Jasmine's instincts told her otherwise. And in time, her instincts would prove right. The heartbreak of rejection was only the beginning. The betrayal of lies was still waiting to be revealed. And once Jasmine uncovered the truth about Elizabeth, the world around Matt Brannis would start to collapse. The whispers of another woman had grown too loud to ignore. At first, Jasmine clung to the hope that the rumors were just that, rumors. Maybe Matt was being seen with a friend. Maybe fans were exaggerating. Maybe she was overthinking, as he often accused her of doing. But deep inside, her heart knew, and the truth was about to hit harder than she ever imagined. One night, Jasmine received a message from a follower she didn't even know personally. It wasn't just words, it was a photograph. The image was grainy, taken from across a dimly lit restaurant, but it was clear enough to make her heart stop. There was Matt, sitting across from a woman with long brown hair. They weren't just eating, they were holding hands across the table, laughing in a way that screamed intimacy. The woman wasn't a stranger. Her name was Elizabeth. At first, Jasmine felt disbelief. She stared at the photo for hours, her mind racing. Maybe it was old, maybe it was innocent. But when more pictures from different dates and different restaurants surfaced, the pieces of the puzzle locked into place. This wasn't new. This wasn't casual. This was a relationship, one that had been going on in secret. As Jasmine dug deeper, the horror of the truth unfolded. Elizabeth wasn't just someone Matt had met after their breakup. She had been in the picture for over a year. A year. That meant while Jasmine was planning their future, while she was talking about proposals and marriage, while she was sacrificing everything for their relationship, Matt was already living a double life. Friends later confirmed that Matt had been seen with Elizabeth months before the breakup. Some even suggested that his harsh rejection of Jasmine's proposal made sense now, because he couldn't commit to someone when his heart and his loyalty were already elsewhere. For Jasmine, this revelation was more than betrayal. It was humiliation. The rejection had been painful, but to know that she had been competing with a ghost all along, a secret relationship hidden in plain sight, was unbearable. When Jasmine confronted Matt again, this time armed with photos, he couldn't deny it anymore. The truth was undeniable. The fight was explosive. Neighbors later said they heard shouting that lasted for hours. Jasmine's voice cracked with fury and heartbreak. Matt, cornered, tried to justify himself. He claimed Elizabeth understood him better, that Jasmine had been too demanding, too emotional, too much. But none of his words mattered. To Jasmine, there was no excuse. She had given him love, loyalty, and sacrifice. And in return, he had given her lies. The relationship, already broken, now turned into ashes. When whispers of Elizabeth reached the fan community, chaos followed. Social media lit up with debates. Who was Elizabeth? How long had this been going on? Was Matt cheating the entire time he was on 90-day Fiancé with Jasmine? Some fans defended Jasmine fiercely, calling her the victim of Matt's deception. Others blamed her intensity, saying Matt had simply looked for peace elsewhere. But regardless of which side people took, one fact remained. Matt Branis had destroyed the trust of the woman who had once been ready to give him her everything. The truth about Elizabeth wasn't just a scandal. It was the beginning of a larger collapse, because along with love and loyalty, there was something else tied between Jasmine and Matt: money. And the next revelation would turn a broken heart into a battle in court. But before we get there, one thing was clear. Matt's affair with Elizabeth had changed everything. Jasmine wasn't just angry now. She was ready to fight back. Secrets are fragile things. For a while, Matt Branis had managed to hide his affair with Elizabeth in the shadows. Private dinners, late-night meetups, quiet moments behind closed doors. But secrets have a way of slipping through the cracks, and Matt's secret was about to spill into the public eye. It started innocently enough. A fan of 90-Day Fiancé, dining out in downtown Miami, claimed to have spotted Matt in the corner of a restaurant. He wasn't alone. He was with Elizabeth. The fan didn't think much of it at first. Maybe it was business. Maybe it was family. But when they noticed the way Matt leaned in, the way Elizabeth laughed, the way their hands touched across the table, it was clear. This wasn't business. This was intimacy. Soon, more stories poured in. Couples on date nights, waiters at trendy spots, even passers-by in the street. They all had the same story. Matt Branis wasn't single, and he wasn't faithful. He was seen again and again with the same woman. Elizabeth wasn't just a rumor anymore. She was real, and she was everywhere. Photos began to surface. At first, blurry cell phone shots, then clearer images. Matt and Elizabeth walking hand in hand through shopping centers, sharing wine at a rooftop bar, leaning against his car, talking like lovers do. The internet pounced. Fans uploaded pictures to Reddit, Instagram fan pages, and gossip forums. Within weeks, the narrative shifted. Jasmine wasn't just heartbroken, she had been betrayed. Some even went back to re-watch old 90-Day Fiancé clips, pointing out moments where Matt seemed distracted, distant, or emotionally detached. He was already with Elizabeth, some claimed. That's why he never planned to marry Jasmine. For Jasmine, the public whispers were like knives. It wasn't just private betrayal anymore. It was humiliation, broadcast for the world to dissect. Imagine scrolling online and seeing strangers analyze your heartbreak, strangers confirming with photos what you had feared in your gut for months. Every picture of Matt with Elizabeth was another wound, another reminder that while Jasmine had been fighting for love, Matt had been living a double life. Her pride, her dignity, her trust, all stripped away in the glare of public gossip. The fan community split in two. Team Jasmine flooded her comments with messages of support. They told her she deserved better, that she was strong, that Matt had made the mistake of his life. Team Matt argued back, claiming Jasmine was too controlling, too demanding, too unstable to keep a man. They insisted Elizabeth was his escape, his peace, his real happiness. The war of opinions raged online, but one thing was certain: the affair was no longer hidden. It was public knowledge. As the sightings piled up, Jasmine's heartbreak transformed into fury. This wasn't just about love anymore. This was about betrayal, lies, and disrespect on a scale she couldn't forgive. But what neither Jasmine nor the fans knew was that the scandal was about to grow even darker. Because behind the betrayal of love, there was betrayal of money. A $500,000 betrayal. And once that truth came out, the world would see Matt Brannis in a completely different light. Betrayal in love cuts deep, but betrayal in money, betrayal in trust, leaves scars that last a lifetime. For Jasmine Pineda, discovering Matt's affair with Elizabeth was devastating, but nothing could have prepared her for the next revelation. Matt hadn't just broken her heart, he had also broken her bank. It began with whispers, just like the affair. But this time, the whispers didn't come from fans. They came directly from Jasmine. In a tearful conversation with close friends, later confirmed by court documents, Jasmine alleged that Matt Brannis had borrowed $500,000 from her. $500,000, the kind of money that doesn't just vanish, the kind of money that represents sacrifice, savings, trust. Money Jasmine had worked tirelessly to secure, believing she was investing in a future with the man she loved. She hadn't given him the money blindly. She had believed his promises. He told her he needed it for business opportunities, for financial stability, for their shared future. And Jasmine, blinded by love, handed it over. But the truth was darker than she imagined. Matt didn't invest the money. He didn't build their future. He gambled it. Night after night, online casinos, sports betting, poker tables, virtual roulette wheels spinning away Jasmine's hard-earned savings. By the time she realized what was happening, it was too late. The money was gone. $500,000, wasted on a reckless addiction. When Jasmine confronted Matt about the missing money, his response was as shocking as the betrayal itself. He denied it. Flat out denied ever borrowing the money. He told her she was lying, exaggerating, trying to ruin his reputation. He claimed she was making up stories because of heartbreak. But Jasmine had proof. Bank transfers, messages, records that told the story of trust misplaced. And when she pushed further, Matt's temper snapped. Their fights grew uglier. The affair with Elizabeth was one wound. The money was another. Together, they became an unforgivable crime in Jasmine's eyes. When word of the $500,000 loan reached the fan community, the scandal exploded beyond repair. Fans weren't just debating love anymore. They were debating fraud. They were asking, did Matt really take the money? Did Jasmine willingly give it? Was this a toxic love story or a calculated scam? The tabloids pounced. Headlines screamed of betrayal, addiction, and financial ruin. Matt's image, once that of a calm and steady partner, now looked like that of a conman. For Jasmine, this wasn't just about heartbreak anymore. It was about justice. The affair with Elizabeth had humiliated her, but the theft of $500,000? That was unforgivable. Jasmine Pineda made a decision. She wouldn't just expose Matt on social media. She would take him to court. The love story that began with promises of forever had now transformed into a legal war. And in the courtroom, Matt Brannis would face consequences no camera crew could protect him from. Addiction doesn't just destroy bank accounts. It destroys trust, relationships, reputations, and sometimes entire lives. For Matt Brannis, the truth about his gambling wasn't just a secret pastime. It was the dark spiral that fueled everything. The lies, the rejection, the betrayal, and ultimately, the courtroom showdown. Behind closed doors, Matt had been living a double life long before Elizabeth entered the picture. By day, he played the role of a calm, collected partner. By night, he sat glued to glowing screens, chasing the rush of online bets, slot machines, blackjack tables, sports wagers. The internet was his casino, and Jasmine's money was his lifeline. It started small, a few hundred here, a few thousand there. But like every gambler caught in the cycle, Matt always believed the next win would change everything. Instead, every click drained him further into debt, further into lies. For Jasmine, the first signs came in whispers of unusual transactions, bank statements with odd charges, missing funds that didn't add up. At first, she wanted to believe him. She wanted to believe that Matt, the man she loved, had a plan. But when the amounts grew into tens of thousands and then hundreds of thousands, the truth was undeniable. Matt wasn't saving for their future. He was gambling away their future. When Jasmine confronted him, she expected remorse. She expected at least some flicker of guilt. Instead, what she got was denial. Matt's words cut like glass. "I never borrowed that money. You're imagining things. You're trying to ruin me because I left you." Even when shown evidence, bank transfers with his name, messages between them confirming the loans, he refused to accept responsibility. To Jasmine, this wasn't just betrayal. It was gaslighting. It was being told her pain wasn't real. Her trust wasn't broken. Her $500,000 wasn't gone. But Matt's denial wasn't just arrogance. It was desperation. By then, his addiction had consumed him. He needed more money, more bets, more chances to win back what he had lost. Friends later revealed he was borrowing from others, making promises he couldn't keep, spinning lies to cover the lies before them. The cycle was endless, until Jasmine finally said enough. As news of his gambling spread, Matt's reputation began to unravel. Fans who once sympathized with him now turned away. His calm, logical image shattered under the weight of scandal. Instead of being remembered as the man who stood firm against Jasmine's intensity, he became the man who gambled away love, money, and dignity. For Jasmine, the line had been crossed. The affair with Elizabeth was a wound she could never forgive, but the money was something else entirely. It wasn't just her pride or her heart. It was her livelihood, her future. And so she prepared to do the one thing Matt never thought she would. She took him to court. The woman who once stood before Matt with a trembling ring in her hand was now standing against him with legal documents. The love story was dead. The scandal was alive. And the next chapter would play out not in restaurants or fan pages, but in a courtroom, under the eye of the law. When love fails, hearts break. But when money vanishes and reputations are destroyed, love stories don't just end. They transform into battles. For Jasmine Pineda, the heartbreak of rejection and betrayal had already pushed her to the edge. But the discovery that Matt Brannis had gambled away $500,000 of her money ignited a fire she could no longer control. This wasn't just about romance anymore. This was about justice. Jasmine's next move shocked everyone. She didn't just call Matt out online. She didn't just vent to her friends or fans. She marched straight into the legal system. Her lawsuit against Matt Brannis contained two devastating accusations. 1. Embezzlement, the claim that Matt had taken her money under false pretenses, promising it was for their future, but wasting it all on gambling. 2. Defamation, the charge that, when confronted, Matt had lied publicly and privately, painting Jasmine as unstable and dishonest to cover his own crimes. In her legal statement, Jasmine described herself not just as a woman betrayed in love, but as a victim of calculated deceit. She detailed the bank transfers, the messages, the promises Matt had made, all of it forming a picture of manipulation. When the case reached court, the atmosphere was electric. Fans, reporters, and curious onlookers filled the room, eager to witness the drama that had leaped from reality TV into real-life scandal. Jasmine walked in with her head high. She was no longer the woman begging Matt to marry her. She was a fighter, calm, fierce, determined. Matt, on the other hand, appeared cold, almost dismissive. His lawyers argued that the money had been gifts, not loans. They claimed Jasmine was bitter, exaggerating her story to destroy him after their breakup. But evidence doesn't lie. And Jasmine had evidence. One by one, her lawyers presented the receipts, bank transfers showing large sums moving from Jasmine's account to Matt's, text messages where Matt promised to pay her back once the investments worked, screenshots of gambling sites linked to Matt's personal accounts. Each piece of evidence struck like a hammer, dismantling Matt's defense brick by brick. The courtroom, once tense with uncertainty, began to shift. Gasps filled the air. The narrative was changing. Jasmine wasn't the unstable ex. She was the victim of betrayal and fraud. When Jasmine took the stand, her testimony was powerful. Her voice cracked at times, but her resolve never wavered. She described how she had believed in Matt, how she trusted him with her future, how she had been humiliated to learn he was not only unfaithful but reckless with her sacrifices. Her words painted a portrait of heartbreak, betrayal, and survival. Matt's testimony, by contrast, lacked conviction. He denied the accusations, but his denials fell flat against the mountain of evidence. Even his body language betrayed him, shifting in his seat, avoiding eye contact, fumbling over details. The trial wasn't just a legal battle. It was a stage, a final showdown between two people whose love story had imploded. For Jasmine, this was closure. For Matt, this was exposure. And as the trial drew to a close, the world waited with bated breath. Would Matt walk free, or would justice finally catch up to him? The judge prepared to deliver the ruling. The courtroom was silent, heavy with anticipation. Jasmine sat straight, her hands clasped, her eyes fixed on the bench. Matt, pale and tense, fidgeted as the moment of truth arrived. What the judge would say next would change both of their lives forever. The day of the verdict arrived. For weeks, the courtroom had been a battlefield, lawyers clashing, evidence stacking, emotions running high. But now, the storm was about to end, and in its place, a final judgment would define the future of Jasmine Pineda and Matt Brannis. The judge, stern and deliberate, began reading the decision. His voice carried through the silent courtroom, each word heavy with consequence. On the charge of embezzlement, the evidence was clear. The bank transfers, the text messages, the gambling accounts, they all told the same story. Matt had indeed borrowed Jasmine's money under the guise of building their future and instead wasted it recklessly. On the charge of defamation, the testimony was equally damning. Matt's repeated denials, his public attempts to smear Jasmine as unstable and dishonest, had left scars not only on her reputation, but also on her mental well-being. The judge paused. The silence was deafening. Then came the words that sent a shockwave through the room. The court finds Matt Brannis guilty. With that verdict, the punishment followed swiftly. Matt Brannis was sentenced to 1 year in prison. The gavel struck. The decision was final. For Jasmine, it was justice served. For Matt, it was the collapse of everything he had tried to hide. The courtroom erupted. Gasps, whispers, even tears filled the air. Jasmine, though shaken, held her head high. She didn't smile, she didn't gloat, but the quiet strength in her eyes spoke volumes. She had fought, and she had won. Matt, on the other hand, sat in stunned silence. His face was pale, his hands trembling. The bravado he had carried throughout the trial seemed to vanish in an instant. Reality had caught up to him. Elizabeth, who had been spotted at the trial in the gallery, reportedly left the courtroom in tears, refusing to answer questions from reporters. Outside the courthouse, chaos unfolded. Reporters swarmed, cameras flashed, microphones thrust forward. Jasmine, do you feel vindicated? Matt, do you have any regrets? What does this mean for your future? Headlines exploded within hours. 90-day fiancé scandal. Matt Brannis sentenced to prison. Jasmine Pineda triumphs in court battle over $500,000 betrayal. From reality TV to real-life justice, the fall of Matt Brannis. Fans online split into familiar camps. Some cheered for Jasmine, calling her a symbol of resilience. Others pitied Matt, framing him as a man broken by addiction. But the verdict was undeniable. The law had spoken. As guards escorted Matt away, Jasmine sat quietly, absorbing the weight of the moment. This wasn't victory in the traditional sense. She hadn't regained her money. She hadn't erased the pain of betrayal, but she had reclaimed her voice. The court had validated her truth, and that, in the end, was priceless. The sentencing marked the end of the legal battle, but it wasn't the end of the story, because when the courtroom doors closed and the cameras turned off, two lives moved in very different directions. Jasmine, stepping forward into healing, growth, and strength. Matt, stepping behind bars, left to reflect on the wreckage he had created. The love story had ended in chaos, but the lesson of betrayal, resilience, and justice was only beginning. The courtroom battle was over. The verdict had been delivered. Matt Branis was behind bars. But for Jasmine Pineda, the story didn't end with the sound of a judge's gavel. Because healing doesn't happen overnight. Healing is not instant justice. Healing is a journey. When the cameras turned away and the media frenzy died down, Jasmine was left with silence, the kind of silence that can feel both crushing and liberating. Her reputation had been dragged through the mud, her trust had been shattered, and her bank account had been drained. But for the first time in months, she could breathe. The weight of lies, betrayal, and endless confrontation was gone. Close friends later revealed that Jasmine spent the weeks after the trial focusing on herself. She disconnected from the chaos of fan pages and gossip sites. She avoided interviews, choosing instead to heal in private. For Jasmine, healing meant returning to the basics, rediscovering who she was outside of heartbreak. She began therapy, working through the trauma of betrayal and the pain of public humiliation. She turned to fitness and meditation, grounding herself in routines that gave her structure. And slowly, she began sharing glimpses of this new journey with her fans. Gone were the dramatic captions and angry posts. In their place came words of resilience. Sometimes life breaks you so it can rebuild you stronger. Pain doesn't define me, my comeback does. Her followers, once divided, rallied behind her. Messages of support flooded in. People admired her courage to stand tall after everything she had endured. Jasmine also leaned heavily on her family. Her children, her siblings, her closest friends, they became her safe space. One touching moment that fans will never forget was when Jasmine shared a photo of herself with her son, writing, "He is the reason I rise every morning, even when life tries to push me down." It wasn't just a caption, it was her truth. Her family reminded her that love still existed, pure, unconditional love, and it gave her the strength to move forward. In the months after the trial, Jasmine began to transform her public image. Instead of being seen as the fiery, controversial figure from 90 Day Fiancé, she rebranded herself as a survivor, someone who had walked through betrayal, humiliation, and financial ruin and had emerged stronger. She started speaking about toxic relationships, financial awareness, and self-worth. Some even speculated she was preparing to write a book or launch a platform dedicated to helping women who had gone through similar experiences. What was once a reality TV storyline had become a symbol of resilience. In her own words, Jasmine admitted that the ordeal had changed her forever. She had learned that love without trust is dangerous, that blind faith can lead to ruin, and that no matter how strong your feelings are, they should never silence your instincts. The pain was real, but so was the growth. The Jasmine Pineda that emerged from the ashes of betrayal was not the same woman who once knelt with a ring in her hand, begging Matt Branis to say yes. This Jasmine was stronger. This Jasmine was wiser. And while Matt Branis served his sentence behind bars, Jasmine walked into the next chapter of her life, one defined not by heartbreak, but by healing. While Jasmine Pineda walked into her healing journey, Matt Branis entered a very different world, a world of steel bars, cold walls, and consequences he could no longer escape. The moment the sentence was handed down, Matt was escorted away in handcuffs. The man who once carried himself with calm confidence now found himself in an orange jumpsuit, facing the harsh reality of prison life. Inside, there were no cameras, no sympathetic fans, no social media defenders, just time. Time to think. Time to regret. Reports later revealed that Matt struggled in his first months. Prison stripped him of the freedom and distractions that had fueled his double life. No Elizabeth, no gambling, no lies to hide behind, only silence and accountability. Alone in his cell, Matt reportedly reflected on the choices that had led him there. The affair with Elizabeth, the gambling addiction, the lies he spun to protect himself, and most of all, the rejection that had set everything in motion. Had he been honest, had he been faithful, had he respected Jasmine's love and trust, things could have been different. But regret is a heavy chain, and for Matt, it was one he couldn't shake. Outside prison walls, Matt's reputation collapsed further. Once seen as the calm partner to Jasmine's fiery spirit, he was now labeled a liar, a gambler, a cheater. His name, tied to scandal, became a cautionary tale in the 90-day Fiancé fan community. Even Elizabeth, the woman he had risked everything for, reportedly distanced herself as the trial ended. Love built on secrets rarely survives the light of truth. Matt's sentence was only a year, but the stain on his reputation would last much longer. Employers, fans, even friends viewed him differently. Trust, once broken, is rarely rebuilt. And so, while Jasmine stepped into a new chapter of resilience, Matt's story became one of isolation, a reminder of how lies and addiction can destroy everything in their path. The story of Jasmine Pineda and Matt Brannis wasn't just a reality TV subplot. It was a human story, messy, raw, and painfully real. It began with love. It collapsed under lies. For Jasmine, the journey was brutal, but it forged her into someone stronger, a woman who refused to be silenced, who fought for truth, and who reclaimed her dignity. For Matt, the journey was a cautionary tale, proof that secrets, betrayal, and addiction lead not to happiness, but to ruin. And for all of us watching, their story is a reminder. Love without trust is fragile. Lies always surface, and sometimes the strongest endings are not the ones we dream of, but the ones that set us free. This was the rise and fall of Jasmine Pineda and Matt Brannis. More update. Recently, 90-day Fiancé star Jasmine Pineda has found herself at the center of several headlines. Matt, her new partner, openly expressed his wish that their future baby would inherit Jasmine's features, sparking curiosity among fans about whether such hopes are even realistic. At the same time, Jasmine was criticized by viewers who accused her of rigging a contest to secure a Baby of the Year win for Matilda, which stirred controversy online. Despite the backlash, Jasmine moved forward with her personal life, sharing a heartfelt New Year's message dedicated to her boyfriend Matt Brannis, a gesture that many interpreted as a subtle jab at her ex Gino. Adding to the speculation, Jasmine has also faced growing rumors about being pregnant again with Matt's child. After weeks of silence, she finally broke her silence, addressing the chatter surrounding a possible second baby and keeping her fans guessing about what's really going on in her life. I will explain everything. Matt Brannis is getting ready to become a dad. A lot of preparations for the impending birth of his child have already begun. Having a baby with Jasmine's features is something the 90-day Fiancé star secretly hopes for. Matt shared some of the traits he inherited from his mother that he hopes their child would have. But Pineda thinks it's impossible for a very clear reason. She made fun of her baby daddy and herself for wanting such things. This Panamanian woman is welcoming a new baby into her life for the third time. 2 sons are already in Jasmine's family from her prior relationships. Finding a means to get back to the US to see them soon is her top priority. All of the reality TV star's children should reside in the same house, according to her. Additionally, Matt is excited to begin a lovely new phase of his life with Jasmine. Tell me what he divulged. Why does Jasmine make fun of him? On HEA, Jasmine Pineda is documenting her pregnancy journey. In order to get an ultrasound, she and Matt visited a clinic. Once the 90-day Fiancé star found out what the gender of the baby was, she was overjoyed. The receptionist's introduction as Gina caught Jasmine off guard. Shortly after, she clarified that her husband's name is Gino and inquired whether it was hers as well. But he's Matt. He's not my husband, but he's the daddy, the Panamanian native stated. It was unclear to Matt what Jasmine's true intentions were, but when his baby mom told him she wanted to call their son Gino, he was taken aback. We must name her Gina if it's a girl, Pineda said. In her mind, the strange synchronicity was the universe's way of sending a message. With a groan of amazement, Matt swiftly declined. Starting anew on HEA, Jasmine and Matt couldn't be happier. They can't wait to become parents and share the joy of a new baby with the world. Throughout the episode, the TLC pair has been open about their hopes and dreams. A potential baby bump was recently brought up in conversation between Matt and Jasmine. The second person declared, "Today's our ultrasound appointments. Check on the baby and also know the gender." She gushed to her boyfriend about how adorable their unborn child would be since he would look just like her. Brannis was on board with the idea that their future child might look like her. Their unborn child may inherit her large eyes and white, pearly teeth, he thought to himself. But Jasmine started to chuckle and brought up the fact that her features weren't natural, but were the result of surgery to her companion. I wasn't born like way, you know? So if Matt is worried that the baby will look like this, he might be a bit premature, she admitted. The actress from 90 Days admitted to the cameras that she didn't have naturally lovely eyes, teeth, or lips. Jasmine couldn't understand how Matt could believe that someone could be born with such flawless features. It was also a running joke that she was making preparations for their baby's treatments. Consequently, Matt said he had no clue what their future child may look like. The way Pineda didn't flaunt her features, but instead owned having plastic surgery, was adored by her fans. Jasmine Pineda slammed for rigging the contest to make Matilda win Baby of the Year title. Matilda Pineda's father, Jasmine, is facing allegations of cheating in the Baby of the Year contest. Her admirers accuse her of trying to play the victim card and manipulating the contest. The 90-Day Fiancé star appears willing to do whatever it takes to claim the $25,000 reward. In an effort to win the cash prize, Jasmine entered her little kid into the famous contest. According to the fans, her baby is one of the most adorable ones in the series. Their hearts went out to Matty as they watched her sweet updates and her happy times. As soon as Jasmine becomes a mother, she updates her followers with every detail. She can't stop gushing over her daughter and posting adorable videos and images of her. But her legion of devoted followers think the Panamanian has been making poor decisions in her quest to crown her child victorious. Is that so? How come fans feel that way? Fans are already wondering if Jasmine Pineda will have another child soon after becoming a mother to her daughter. Prior to having Matilda, she was a mother to 2 sons. Mommyhood was nothing new for the 90-Day Fiancé star. Jasmine made the decision to share every single milestone along the way with her baby on social media. Throughout her pregnancy, she kept her admirers updated on numerous happy events. But when the TLC star posted a flashback photo showing her growing baby belly, it baffled her followers. As word spread, admirers started to wonder if Jasmine and Matt were pregnant again. People thought she was trying to hide something after several images went viral online. But Jasmine put an end to the speculation by posting a selfie online. She posted an AI-generated selfie with an ultrasound result in her hand, and the image has since gone viral. By posting the initial photo, the TLC star made it clear that she was not expecting a child. After entering her baby Matilda in a contest, Jasmine Pineda took a lot of criticism online. In an effort to garner more votes, she has been uploading numerous videos and images of her daughter. The 25th prize is a big deal, and the TLC star is determined to claim it. A lot of people think Jasmine's baby is the cutest, therefore they're rooting for her to win. But they think she'll do anything right now to claim the prize money. According to recent reports from 90-Day Fiancé News and Memes, the TLC star is allegedly taking advantage of her massive following to win the game and isn't giving other babies a fair opportunity. In an effort to get her fans to vote for Matilda, Jasmine has been posting videos and images of her kid non-stop. To further her cause, Jasmine used her celebrity connections to rally other reality TV personalities to support Matilda in the voting. Pineda has not been allowing the votes to flow naturally, which fans think is wrong. In response to her tactic being revealed online, she resorted to her crocodile tears. The 90-Day Fiancé actor asserted that there was an effort to undermine Matilda's chances of winning the tournament. Someone on Reddit brought up the story to talk about how she lied to increase her vote total. As expected, her legion of admirers were unsurprised. Some people think it's fine for parents to promote their children on social media, while others think it's cheating. Jasmine shares special message for new BF Matt Brannis on New Year after embarrassing Gino. Jasmine Pineda, star of 90-Day Fiancé, sent a heartfelt message to her new partner, Matt Brannis, as the new year began. For saving her, she is eternally thankful to him. Rumors began circulating online that the TLC star was seeing another man. On the last resort, Jasmine has been chronicling her marriage troubles with Gino Palazzolo. Her husband has been very critical of her. The reality TV personality hopes to enhance her marital bedroom experience. An open marriage to Gino is even something Jasmine has insisted upon. She has also allegedly started a relationship with a new man named Matt. On New Year's Eve, the TLC artist sent a heartfelt message to Matt, confirming her new relationship. Her words were, "Is she no longer seeing Gino? Was an open marriage something he consented to?" Jasmine Pineda, star of 90 Day Fiancé, enjoys micromanaging Gino. She frequently calls him names in season 2 of The Last Resort. The TLC actress went too far though, when she shamed her husband for enjoying himself with the other cast members. The cast member recently went out clubbing to unwind and have a good time. Gino and the male members of his cast had a blast when he got intoxicated. Their women quickly followed their partners into the club. It irritated Gino's wife because he embraced Natalie and welcomed everyone. So Jasmine immediately wanted to know if Natalie liked all the attention. Florian was also accused by her of intoxicating her spouse, she said. Her fans were not pleased by her actions and publicly criticized her for making fun of Gino. In addition, they constantly criticized her for immaculating and making him look foolish. Has Gino abandoned Jasmine? Is she in a new relationship? In 2025, Jasmine Pineda, star of 90 Day Fiancé, plans to do amazing new things. She has a wealth of information regarding her new life to share with her fans. A long New Year's message from the TLC artist was shared with her fans not long ago. The finest self-portraits that Jasmine has taken over the last 12 months are now online. She revealed her year's events through the sharing of multiple self-portraits. In her statement, the TLC actress expressed her gratitude to the year 2024 for the valuable experiences and the lessons she had to learn the hard way. Jasmine admonished her devotees to cherish every moment of their lives. It was also her hope that they would never forget how wonderful and perfect they are. In addition, the reality TV actress included a heartfelt message for her partner at the bottom of the caption. At midnight, Jasmine confessed her love for her partner and couldn't wait to kiss him. "You saved me," she captioned. But she didn't mention Brian by name, the intended recipient of Jasmine's letter, as her fans immediately assumed was her alleged boyfriend. This year might have been her intended hard launch with her present boo. The TLC star's new romance announcement must have been in the works until the last episode of The Last Resort aired. On the show, Jasmine and Gino's relationship remains stagnant. If the treatment hadn't worked, they might have ended the marriage. Jasmine Pineda pregnant again. Finally breaks silence on second baby rumors with Matt. The star of 90 Day Fiancé, Jasmine Pineda, has ended the speculation about her pregnancy by confirming the allegations. In the midst of her fourth pregnancy rumors, her devoted followers were certain that she was expecting once again. Rumors regarding the TLC star's pregnancy had been circulating for weeks, so she finally decided to address them. Matt and Jasmine's daughter was born in March. They are sharing their experiences with having a baby on HEA. After learning of the unanticipated pregnancy, the reality TV star's emotions were stunning. It was never their intention to have a family, according to Jasmine, who said it was an accident. She is overjoyed to get the news that she is expecting a daughter. The TLC star, though, has been the subject of speculation that she is pregnant again. Does it add up? Whose words did Jasmine use? Being a mother for the second time would delight Jasmine Pineda too much. Long has she waited for the HEA to reveal the gender of the baby. The star of 90 Day Fiancé, however, startled her followers with an unusual wish regarding her impending pregnancy. The gender of Jasmine's unborn child was determined during an ultrasound. She was taken aback, though, when the receptionist revealed her identity as Gina. A close look at the TLC star's name revealed that it was a play on words with her husband Gino's. "But he's Matt. He's not my husband, but he's the daddy," Jasmine admitted. With her introduction, she placed Matt in an uncomfortable situation. After the fact, the reality TV personality pondered whether or not it had symbolic meaning. Whether the baby is a girl or a boy, Pineda joked Matt about naming her Gina. The second person promptly dismissed the concept out of annoyance. The addition of Matilda to Jasmine Pineda's family made her a mother of 3. For her late 30s, becoming a mother was not in her plans. The TLC actress and her partner, Matt Brannis, have been together for a long time, but they just welcomed a daughter. Speculation regarding Jasmine and Matt's second pregnancy began after she posted some old photos of herself with a noticeable baby belly. Nobody could not but wonder if she was expecting again. The 90-Day Fiancé star recently broke her silence on the matter. At a restaurant, Pineda posted a selfie with Matt and Matilda. She uploaded the ultrasound images that have been going viral, along with an AI-generated portrait of herself. Quickly disproving the photo's authenticity, the reality TV personality said that the image did not actually depict her holding an ultrasound. Just wanted to let you know that I'm not expecting another baby right now, Jasmine. Rumors about her pregnancy were unfounded, as she made it plain. Visiting her other children supposedly has the TLC star making frequent trips to Panama. All eyes are on Jasmine as she begins a fresh chapter in her life and reconciles with her boys. That she is putting her current children first and not trying to start a family again is something they are relieved about. That she is not expecting at the present is all the TLC star has said. The audience therefore assumes that Jasmine and Matt will attempt to have a second child at some point. Later on, he admitted that he intends to have a son the following time around. Supporters will have to be patient to find out if it will actually happen. No more today. What are you thinking about this gossip today? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned by subscribing to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you.